midday on Tuesday, March the 2nd. I've just had the email from Highbridge Motorhomes to say that the van will be ready to collect tomorrow. It's one day late because there was a bit of an issue with the solar PV system. It wasn't charging the leisure battery. There is something else in addition to that, but anyway, it's all going to be fixed by tomorrow. My friend Ben was going to take me to collect it today originally, but he can't take me tomorrow because his car's going in for an MOT. But Highbridge Motorhomes have kindly offered to come and pick me up, take me in, so I'll collect the van and then I've got to take it back there the following day on Thursday to get the diesel heater fitted. Yeah, it just means now I know that I'm getting it, that I can put everything into action. It's like, next week I'm working in Cheltenham all week surveying, and I'm probably going to stay in the van in a campsite about 10-15 miles away from Cheltenham, and it'll just give me some time in the evenings to kind of get my head around what else I need to do, and I can take some stuff with me and start sort of working out where stuff's going to go. Things like bedding and some clothes and stuff like that. But at least now I've got the green light, I can start putting everything to action. It's been quite frustrating for the last month, especially, after finding the van. It's great because they are spending a month preparing the van. There's a tiny little bit of rust underneath that they're doing, and it'll come with a full service, full MOT, full habitation check. So, I just know for 12 months it's all sound. I will fill you in at some point on the van that I was going to buy before this that turned out to be an absolute nightmare. I had to pull out of the deal, but yeah, it's all starting to happen. So many things to do. It's Wednesday now, it's the day I'm being picked up to go and collect the van. That's about 1:30. I've just been to the doctors to get my cough checked out because I've had it for 2 weeks. It doesn't seem to be getting any better, and they just said it's tough. It's just, I think, a cough that's going around, and it should clear up within another week or two. So, but they said I can carry on doing a bit of running and cycling, just to say, whatever your body lets you do. So I'll do that. I've just got to cycle down to Hardy Cycles now. I'm dropping the gravel bike off there. And I'm having a 40-tooth ring put on the back to give me an extra gear. And he's going to have a quick look at the rear brake. The rear brake's not working very well, and I can't seem to work out what it is. I think it's friction in the cable that's just not allowing you to really get a lot of force on the pads. But I've tried doing it. I can't really work out what's what, but I'm sure Rob will. So I've got to drop that off for him, pick that up in about 10 days' time. Go and get the van later. I might go for a quick jog on the moor, a celebratory jog, and then I've got to come back. Then tomorrow I've got to take it back to where I'm buying the van from to get the diesel heater put in. He's going to be doing that for most of the day, so I've got to take my mountain bike with me and some waterproof gear because it's going to rain all day, I think. And I'm just going to go and lose myself on Dartmoor for 8 hours, or 7-8 hours or something. I'll probably go and have lunch in Widdicombe in the moor or something like that, and maybe go for a run as well. I've got to be a bit careful with this cough, but yeah, so there's a lot to organise, just getting the van, get it back, work out what I need for tomorrow and get all that loaded up, get the work done. And then next week I'm away for 3 nights. Yeah, working in Cheltenham on the main municipal building in the centre of town, where Absel surveying the rear side. We've already done the front, but the rear side. So I'll probably get a bit of footage of what work is about, doing surveys, because I think it'll be of interest to you, and it's quite exciting, some of it. It's quite fun. And I think it's a good thing to include in my vlogs, because it's part of what my life is about, my van life adventure. It's like combining all the fun stuff, work stuff, the ups and the downs, how I earn money, how I fund this venture, and how I'm going to make it all work. We've just found out another 2 surveys have come in. So I'm just going to be driving all across the country for most of the summer and the autumn by the looks of it, which means it's going to be tricky to get the time up in Snowdonia and stuff like that to do what I want. But, I am earning good money. I've just got to get the right balance. And because all my travel will be paid for, and all my campsite fees, I booked into a caravan and camping club campsite with hookup next week. It's only 20 quid a night when you sign up to the club. and I need that for recharging all the batteries for the cameras, for the surveying, and for the laptops. So yeah, it's quite a lot to organise. I'm sure it'll all just fall into place once I've been doing it for a week or so. It's just sort of working out. It's funny, I was getting flashbacks to my master's degree. I did, my thesis was about, essentially about hybrid energy systems, PV systems, and so wind systems, charging an array of batteries in an array, it's got a range of electric vehicles, and what the considerations you need to take into consideration for speccing systems. And part of it was used to analyse how to integrate electric vehicle charging systems into the urban environment in London. So, and you look at all usage profiles and stuff like that. So that's part of what what I have to consider now. And it doesn't look as though the solar system will have anywhere near enough capacity to do what I want to allow me to go off grid for more than a day or two at a time. So I'm going to have to buy a power bank because there isn't enough roof space to put more solar panels on, and fitting an extra battery in there is going to be a nightmare. So I'm probably going to have to fork out about £1,000 or something for a big power bank, like a Jackery or something with a solar panel that I can just stick outside. So that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun of making this all work. It's more expense, but once I get working again and work comes in, I'll be earning good money and it'll be fine. But anyway, right, I need to get this bike down to Rob Hardy Cycles. You can smile at me. Okay, I had a message to say that they're about half an hour delayed, but yeah, I'm due to be picked up any minute now, and then taken down to we're off to Highbridge Motorhomes down at Teen Grace, which is just outside Newton Abbot. And yeah, so I'm getting picked up here in Exeter and taken there. It's about a half-hour drive, and then we've got the handover in the van. I think that'll take about an hour or so, just so I know how to work everything. I'll probably take some little video clips and stuff like that, and then I think I'm going to just drive up onto Dartmoor, probably go up towards the Haytor area, which is where I trained for the UTMB OCC. I've got to be a little bit careful because tomorrow I need to be out on the bike most of the day, or bike and running, so I don't want to knacker myself too much today. So I might just go up for a little half-hour jog up on a couple of the tours, get a few views, probably looking back at the van or something like that, and then come back. It could be tricky to find a parking space here in the centre of Exeter, partly because of the size and partly the students are just coming back from the Easter break. But I need to leave here again at around about 8:15, 8:30 tomorrow to go back to the motorhome place to get the diesel heater fitted. So I can just stick it in a two-hour place or something. Right, here we go. That's the one. Off we go. Well, I finally have the van, so I've just driven it about sort of 6 miles up the road from where I collected it at Highbridge Motorhomes near Newton Abbot. Just brought it up to the Haytor area, which is where I did most of my training for the UTMB OCC, and I had planned to go for a bit of a run, just a short run for an hour or so, but my cough is still playing up. I actually went to the doctors this morning. It's been a really long day. I sort of started off by going to the doctors about my cough because I've had it for 2 weeks and it's not getting any better. And they just say they think it's a bit of a virus, so just stick with it. I took my bike in to Rob Hardy Cycles, and then there was a slight delay getting the van. They collected me from Exeter, and it's basically nearly 4 hours later, and I'm finally on Dartmoor. So there's so much to learn it really is quite overwhelming. You know, after spending all that money on the van, you then realise that you have to get a steering wheel lock, you need to get chemicals for the toilet, you know, and learn how all these things work. A hose for filling up the water tank. I need to clean and sterilise the water tank before I can use it. So I had to buy a sort of 25 litre container just to get me started. Yeah, there's just so much stuff. So it's another sort of 220 quid, but they give you 10% if you just bought a van, 10% off everything. So, but they're all things I need. I've got to set the tracker up this evening. So I've just parked it up and ate the sandwich and stuck the steering wheel lock on and thought, no, I'm just going to go for a walk. Because I've got to get home now. I've got to find somewhere to park, which is probably going to be quite challenging in the centre of Exeter. And then sort out all my stuff for tomorrow, because I've got to be up. I've got to leave 8ish to bring it back to the Highbridge Motorhomes to have the diesel heater fitted tomorrow. That's a whole day thing. So I've got to go off on my, you know, the plan was to go off on the mountain bike and do a kind of mountain bike stroke run day, but because I've got this cough, I don't want to push my luck. I've been told I can carry on cycling and running. They just sort of do what your body lets you. So, but I need to spend around about 7 or 8 hours out. And the plan is to sort of come out onto the moor, end up in Widdicombe maybe for lunch. And there's another place on the Haytor side. I might have brunch. So it's going to be a day of kind of like slow jogging, mountain biking and eating lots of food while I get this diesel heater fitted. So Saturday morning we're going to park run with some friends. I've never been there before. Meet up with some other van friends, and I think Friday is going to be the day that I will finally get to kind of tinker with the van. So I've got to work out how, you know, what to get in there. It's surprising, you know, you just stick a couple of stick a couple of rucksacks in cupboards and stuff like that, and things just start filling up very, very quickly. So I think I'm going to have to be quite ruthless as to, you know, how much stuff I either put in storage or I get shot of. So I can imagine I'll probably end up taking stuff to the storage place, and then what I can't fit in there, I'll just have to take it to a recycling centre and we'll take the rest of it to charity shops. I've probably got rid of over 200 books. I had a really big library that I really cherished, but that's mostly gone. But yeah, it's, you know, like I said, it is quite overwhelming, but apparently it's very normal to feel like that. So yeah, I'm just going to chill out up here a little bit longer, because if I go straight back now, I'm going to hit rush hour in Exeter, and I might as well just wait until the worst of the traffic's gone, and then see if I can find a place to park. There are a couple of 2-hour places just around the corner from me, which will let me park it there for, I'll have up until 11 in the morning, but wherever I get tonight, you know, it'll just be fine, because I'll just be starting first thing in the morning. And then after that it'll be a bit more challenging, but next week I'm staying away for 3 nights anyway, so yeah, and it's quite interesting driving it for the first time. I didn't actually drive it beforehand. I have driven lots of transits in the past, and the seat is really high. I have to pull the seat because I'm really short, and I have to pull the seat really far forward towards the steering wheel, so you're kind of like hunched over the steering wheel, and the bloody handbrake is just like, you've got to reach right down the side of the seat into the kind of step up into the cab to get to the bloody handbrake. And I've had a bit of a back problem since last year, but maybe it'll make it stronger, I don't know, but it just seems very long. It's just like tucked away, miles away. But anyway, I mean, these are all quirks of the van that I've just got to get used to. It doesn't have cruise control on it, which I thought it might have. I thought it had that, but it hasn't. But I might get that put on as an after-market thing. It's quite expensive, 500 quid I think, but I do so many miles for work. It's something I will be seriously considering. But anyway, yeah, I have the van. It's all very exciting. I'm just going to sit and drink my flask of tea before sort of venturing back into Exeter, and then try and get a couple of bits and bobs done this evening before getting up early and shooting off to get the diesel heater done tomorrow. So yeah, it's all starting to happen. So for all of you out there that are just in the planning stage, just keep going. You know, it takes a huge amount of effort. It's hard to imagine how stressful it can get sometimes. There's so much to organise, but I'm sure it's going to be worth it in the end. But But yeah, I just thought I'd bring the van up, park it up somewhere, stick the steering lock and just wander off for a bit, just to get used to neglecting it. Well, not neglecting it, you know, just parking it up and leaving it and trying to get comfortable with the fact that it will be, you know, left parked up for the best part of the day sometimes when I was doing long runs and what have you. But yeah, it feels good.